We are live. I can hear a bit myself, but that's fine. All good. I can see so many people joining us today. Very, very, very exciting event. I'm warmly welcoming everyone to Authentic Sauna Culture Meets Sustainable Thermowood events, wellness architecture, a lot of great discussions today. Uh, my name is Matias Laaksonen. I work as a design and product manager here at Lunawood. We are actually operating in Demio, so most likely a quite new program, a webinar program to our attendees, but you can communicate with us by using the chat box. You can find it from the upper right corner. You are always free to share your greetings, ask questions. Perhaps you can just say hello from where you are attending the webinar today. So please share insights and your comments to the chat box. Today, I'm happy that I'm not on a stage by myself. I'm happy that I'm joined by Linda Helistö. Linda is a Finnish sauna enthusiast and the co-founder of West Coast Sauna Summit. West Coast Sauna Summit is Canada's largest sauna culture company who focuses on moving on sauna and wellness business forward. So nice to see you, Linda.
Thank you, Matthias. And I have to say already at this point, oh my goodness,
yes.
Thank you so much, guys. So we have Seattle, Colorado, Denver.
Portugal. Oh wow.
My goodness, Pennsylvania. Hey, Rogue Sauna. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Thea. Live, Love, Lulu. Port Moody. Oh my goodness, we have Kosovo.
Cape Town. Wow.
Whoa, Fernie, BC. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Quebec, Bulgaria, New Hampshire, and Vancouver, of course.
Yay.
Wow.
We're having an amazing turnout. Thank you so much, guys. Yes. And like Matthias said, we want to have a two-way conversation here throughout the entire webinar. So pop in your comments, your questions. Do not wait until the last minute. I will do my best to go and jump in there and have a peek. But yeah, let's keep the conversation going. And it's really exciting to see how many people have been interested about not only the authentic sauna culture, but also the future of wellness design. We know that wellness and how we see wellness, its social sides and everything, it's going through a sort of a rebirth. And I think that today's cases will actually showcase a lot of the cultural shifts that's going on. That's not only affecting the business models, the designs, but also the materials and the layouts of everything. But Matthias, go ahead. You have some really exciting cases. I'm really looking forward to see what you guys have been doing at Lunawood. And looking forward to diving deeper.
Yes, thank you, Linda. I will do a brief introduction of Lunawood as a company, then about the actual thermowood that can be seen in Vicky's background picture, actually, and the picture in the main slide. And of course, some projects, global projects that we have done, especially in sauna and spa environments. We as a Lunawood, we want to reconnect nature and people by bringing natural benefits of forest into daily life, like to New York or London or wherever forests are not growing as like here in Finland. Our products create opportunities to use wood in an innovative and sustainable way. And everything actually starts from the thermal modification process itself. We as a Lunawood, and together with the Finnish Technical Research Center of Finland, we developed the patented thermowood process back in the 1990s. So already almost 25 years. Actually, we are celebrating our 25-year anniversary next summer, and we will have a nice celebration in Helsinki in sauna area, of course. But basically, this is the process that we patented in Finland 25 years ago. So basically, the process, what we do in our production unit here in Finland, it's divided into three different phases. In the phase one, we quite slowly rise the temperature in the kiln. And in that process, we basically take all the moisture and all the resin out of the timber. Later today, we will discuss a bit more why that is so important. But especially in this first phase, we want to make the wood completely dry. If we have moisture in the wood and we go above 100 Celsius degrees, the water starts to boil and then it creates crack in the wood. So that's why we want to take all the moisture out of the timber. Then in the second phase, the actual thermal modification happens. So basically we permanently modify timber in very high temperatures, 413 Fahrenheit, 212 Celsius degrees. But in this quite short period of time, the second phase, the wood has all these durability, dimensional stability, resin freeness, these excellent benefits that we need in sauna environments. And then we quite dramatically take the moisture out and the temperature out of the kiln. And then we adjust the moisture content to 4 to 7%. And then we have the final raw material. But that's kind of the process that we always follow and we want to follow because this is the patented thermowood process. And then we know that the quality is always very, very good. And then third-party people will also check the quality. So it's not only about Lunawood. We have third-party people who comes to our site and check that we are following this patented process. Sustainability, I could actually have another webinar about sustainability because that's the very core of our business. It starts already from the Finnish forest. So we always utilize 100% from certified sawmill suppliers. We have Nordic pine and Nordic spruce in our production processes, but then in the USA, in Cleveland, Georgia, we utilize also white ash and yellow poplar as well. Manufacturing process does not include any chemicals, only heat and steam, just natural methods, heat and steam that we can sense in sauna applications as well and in sauna rooms. But then carbon storage is also very significant. In Finland, forests approximately grow 80 to 100 years before we do the harvesting. So they are working as a carbon sink for multiple decades. So then they can actually absorb a lot of carbon inside. And then we lock it in our production process. So Nordic products store 5 times more carbon compared to our production emissions. Raw material, like I mentioned, we always use certified raw material. In Finland, PEFC and FSC, but also in the USA, local hardwoods there in the United States, and then Nordic pine and spruce from Finnish forests. And actually, Finland is the most forested country in Europe. 75% and more is actually from our land is covered by forest. So, for example, if we take all the Finnish forest and we create a circle of Finnish forest, it's the same size than United Kingdom. So that's kind of a quite nice comparison of how much we actually have forest in Finland. And then I'm very proud about that Finnish Forest Act, which was passed in the 1886, because basically whenever we cut one tree, we always have to plant 4 new ones. And that way we always have more forest growing that we actually harvest. But then after the raw material and the thermal modification, we have plenty of nice benefits and characteristics that works perfectly in sauna applications. The first one is dimensional stability. We will see a bit more projects about that and how we have managed those nice details here and there and mighty corners, lovely designs. And that's because of the dimensional stability. But also the comfort and the haptic properties like resin free. There is no hot resin pockets on the wall, or then if you lean on the wall, there is no resin and the moisture content is also low, and that's why thermal conductivity is very poor as well, which is a positive thing in sauna application. And then the authentic nature, you can see the knots, lively, organic, the feel of actual and proper timber products, and the sustainable background. The forest can be sensed in our products as well. But then the projects. I jumped to Tahko. This is the one of the ski resorts in Finland, and I would say this is a sauna with the view. Lovely scene to these slopes there in Tahko, but all wooden products are thermally modified. This is actually quite large sauna, I would say, and that's why they have 2 stoves in both corners. So with that method, they can actually balance the nice temperature in sauna. But good combination of Nordic pine, thermally modified to stand the test of time of this sauna environment, because it's open almost 24/7. So it requires quite a lot from the material. Then I would say one of my favorites from hotel saunas. This is actually from Iisalmi, the world's biggest thermowood manufacturing unit. That's the place from where everything started 25 years ago. And now here in Finland, we are working quite a lot with this Sokos hotel chain. They are renovating their spa areas and sauna areas, and they are using a lot of Lunawood products because of the design, but also because of the technical performance of the of thermowood. Then I introduce another kind of hotel from Bulgaria. This is a Swiss hotel where all decorative surfaces were made with thermowood products. All the jacuzzi areas, ceilings, rails, facades, interior, even the hotel room closets were cladded with thermowood products. So good combination of that kind of unified design throughout the spaces, from inside to outside to decking to rails. Many beautiful details here and there. This one is actually one of the newest projects we have. This is from Oulu, northern part of Finland. And this is actually from the same house. They have sauna indoor, but they have a guest house where they have another outdoor sauna as well. Pretty similar from the design point of view, but the colors are completely different. Kind of a silver gray patina on the outdoor sauna, but then the warm thermal brown color in indoor sauna. But nice combination of narrow profiles and then wide profiles. Quite nice dialogue between different widths of the same material. And then very typical private house sauna. And it's actually quite funny that in Finland, even though you have a apartment building like just a few square meters, you might most likely still have sauna in that. So we always want to have sauna, and we make sure that there is space for that.
There's always space for sauna.
Exactly. And then very beautiful rogue sauna from the USA, where I love this combination of interior decorative surfaces, but then it goes outside and you see the same knot structure of Finnish spruce as well. A bit different kind of profiles, especially in sauna room. No surface treatments, just the pure organic view of thermowood products. And then to Oslo, to Norway. This is a floating sauna in front of Opera House in Oslo. There's actually the picture on the right-hand side, quite nice dialogue of old sauna building and the brand new. So typical Scandinavian horizontal cladding, the same product once you can use as a facade, but then the material of thermowood on the decking, but then in sauna benches, sauna walls, and the ceilings as well.
And correct me if I have understood correctly, that like all of these places, like these are main tourist attractions, like looking at the hotel chains that you're working with in Oslo, like these are prime places.
For sure.
So like these saunas go, like a ton of people go through in and out, right?
Exactly.
And since 2018, so that's
Yeah. I will travel there soon to take some after pictures as well. These are from just after the installation, but kind of a locations where are salty winds from the Baltic Sea and from the Atlantic as well. Quite challenging from the temperature point of view. Could be like minus 25 Celsius degrees outside, but then plus 85 Celsius degrees inside the sauna. So a lot of kind of a stress that is affected do the wood itself. But yeah, you're right. These are kind of attractions, public places. Yeah. And then I'm happy to jump to Ærth sauna to Canada. And today we will talk a bit more and dive deeper into Ærth sauna, place where we will have the sauna summit in January as well.
And at this point, you might be wondering, like, who is the sweating person in the sauna on the right-hand side? And then, like, who is the dude with the cool hat in the middle. So I'm happy to, at this point, give the stage. So Vicky, you are the founder of Ærth Saunas, and we're diving deep into the Ærth and how Ærth became and how you have decided to use Lunawood into bringing your vision to life. And Valtteri here, he is the co-founder of the West Coast Sauna Summit, and he is also the managing partner at Ærth Saunas. So welcome to the stage.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really excited to be here. Hello, everyone.
I have to say, like, that's dedication, because so just for you guys to know, Vicky is actually, that sauna is heated, and she's taking the entire webinar from a Lunawood sauna. And
yeah, just a fun fact: we were doing some thermal testing on the wood in the morning with the electricians to see what spots are the hottest in this specific sauna, because it's such a different shape and size to anything else out there. So the sauna was on when I came in, so it's hot in here.
And I love the fact that we can actually go directly into the design aspect. So maybe people can see from the pictures below that, but you have a lot of design aspects that you took into consideration, and you have a lot of curved spaces. So was that intentional when you started? Like, what was your vision with Ærth when you first started?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of context just very quickly about this project. So I had a lot of priorities. North America is a very new, it's going through a resurgence of the wellness industry in general, and sauna spaces are quiet. They look quite unified in terms of how they're built. So my vision to bring this to the West Coast was, I really wanted to bring a lot of elements of nature into the space, and we'll talk about new architecture and why, into a space that was underutilized, because you can see this alleyway. It was an abandoned alleyway. It was just a paved space. There was nothing in it. Right downtown. We're right downtown of a city of 400,000 people, and that just went from there. I had competing priorities in terms of the space, and I wanted to bring in a ton of natural elements, seeing the sky, curved walls, really good for acoustics, really good for connection. So a little bit of context. And repeat the question again, Linda. Just a little context.
Your vision, but you're really bringing that in, because I remember when I first went to that location and you told me your vision about a sauna village, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, we are in between two iconic hotels. And Matthias, it wasn't that wide. I was like, how on earth are you going to get like 5-6 pods in here? But the experience has been great. And people are loving it. You've been open, and for people to have context, Victoria is one of the main tourist locations here in Canada. So there is a ton of people coming in and out. And you've been open for how long now?
2 months exactly today.
Ooh, wow.
We opened on September 4th. Yeah. And it's interesting because when I started this project, there was nothing. There's no real sauna spaces around that side of the continent. Really, there are a couple, but there's no real experience that would just actually there are not a lot of relaxation stations, but not a lot of sauna spaces that focus on the hot and cold. So that's what I focused in on. And this is a very utilitarian space in many, many ways. Like, it's the absolute bare minimum of operating the space. There's a reception. There are 2 washrooms, all gender washrooms. There's a storage, and the rest of the space is for hydrotherapy. So saunas and cold plunges.
And you've also, I know that you wanted to take into consideration how the wood works in the space, how the wood works into creating the experience. I also know that you are a big believer in neuroarchitecture. And just to keeping things short, for those people who are not maybe that familiar with the concept of neuroarchitecture or your vision on how the wood is actually there to create the experience, in few lines, what are we talking about when we're talking about neuroarchitecture?
Totally. So there are a lot of studies about this. The neuroarchitecture is looking at the connection between people's environments, specifically architecture, and how it affects your brain. And a lot of little gems come out of these studies. One is if you're around trees, if you're around greenery, how your dopamine levels are higher, how your serotonin levels are higher. And if you're being able to see the sky, it's just such a beautiful addition to it. So following that, my priority was to bring all of these elements in the architecture, in the environment that we're creating. So if you can't quite see, but there's a stone wall on the right side so the right side of the space is actually a stone wall going into the building. So we have all elements of nature in here. I wanted to bring in a lot of wood. There's the stone wall. You're able to see the sky, the water and fire and the plants, all kind of co-creating this environment super dynamically. And it just makes an experience for people where they can experience all elements that would be out in nature as well. And then obviously we had city requirements as well. So although we wanted the saunas to be wood at the beginning, we needed to use metal cladding. So because of the proximity of the hotel, we couldn't do wood cladding outside. So we incorporated metal too, which actually complements everything else very well.
Exactly.
Mm.
And the wood was a massive element in it. So, when we're moving into the conversation about why Lunawood, the wood is such an important piece in here.
And when I'm looking at the questions here, so this is actually tapping a lot of the different conversation points that we are going to take about so first things first, a cold plunge, can you use it all year round?
All year round, baby.
And it's cold, people. It's cold. And also, the spaces where you decided to use Lunawood. So, Valtteri, could you actually talk more about where you used Lunawood and why did you decide on these specific spots at the entire design?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me well. I can't see everyone's photos, so I'm missing the view of Vicky sweating in our beautiful Lunawood sauna, but that's something I will hopefully capture a little bit later. So basically, most of the builds in North America, you have your choices of cedar, and then your choice of okay, what thermally modified wood do I have available in where I'm at, and what is sustainable, and what are the different price points that you're working with for your build. And there's an overwhelming amount of decisions that you need to make when you're building, even your own backyard sauna versus commercial. There's just decision fatigue is a daily thing. So when going, when I heard about thermal wood, and we learned more about Lunawood at the West Coast Sauna Summit last year, we really wanted to explore the potential to be able to use it, and we luckily had a local company that was readily available in our region, and just the qualities, what we learned about it, and how it felt, and how it was for the carpenters to work with. It was something that we really wanted to we weren't certain oh, should we just go with cedar? It's readily available in the hardware stores across the 10 minutes away. But then once we learned more, we were committed okay, at least some of the spaces where we can, let's go this journey with thermal wood and see how it goes.
And just correct me if I'm just let me know if I've understood correctly, but it's the outer fences, right? And the silent sauna is the Lunawood sauna, and also this is a really interesting point. The deck. Am I
So
correct that that's not Lunawood, right?
yeah, we're because of the multiple building regulations and slip ratings, bacteria growth, so many building regulation related things were preventing us from using Lunawood, and it was just like endless journey with that. So there's a reason to use composite decking, because we use so much water on the decking and it's such a heavy use. So the decking had to be composite. We were trying to use Lunawood, but it was just because the local regulations, we had to go with composite, and we used Lunawood in one of our saunas and lots on the fencing around the cold plunge. Many of the benches were used Lunawood that from our offcuts. So wherever we found that it was fitting, and wherever we had extra material left, we tried to use the Lunawood. And we also happy now, like just last edition, is we have 3 different saunas. So 2 are cedar, 1 is Lunawood, slightly different materials. So we got to kind of see how they behave and age with time and use.
And I have so much to add to that. It's such a, the Lunawood sauna is our best sauna, hands down. So we can get into that. But yeah.
I'm looking at the questions here, and this is really interesting because Fraser is asking, how do the knots handle the heat in the sauna, and are they suitable for use on the benches and backrests? So what has your experience been with how Lunawood has behaved in your sauna? And yeah, what has been your experience with the wood? If we start with Vicky and then go into Val.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. So I can show you. I can just show you. So there are knots in the wood, and it's such a beautiful addition to the design. It makes it very real, and I'm actually really, really happy. And I think, Matthias, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't get hot. Like, it's a very homogenic experience when you're sitting on the bench. The reason why is because all the water has been removed from the wood, so it gets a very homogenic texture to it. So when you're sitting on it, there's no difference between sitting on a knot or not sitting on a knot. And all the Luna, it's all our backrests, all our bench slabs, they all have knots.
Yeah. Just to quickly perhaps about why there are knots in our products, because that's a very crucial part of our raw material as well. When we select the raw material, like for example Nordic pine that can be seen on the in sauna there in the background of Vicky's picture. Nordic pine we can only utilize, and we always utilize just the healthy knotty part of the log. So which means in Nordic pine we use the top log, that narrow part. If we use a mid lock, for example, there are more so-called dead knots, and then in thermal modification they will pop off, and then we have holes in the products. But then on spruce, Christmas tree, we can use that center cut piece of the lock as well, where we have healthy branches. So for us as a Lunawooders, we always say that knots are a sign of sustainability. There are always branches growing in real wood, basically real timber, so and real trees. So when it comes to performance and when the knots are healthy and sound knotted, they have the same performance than the clear parts of the wood as well.
Thanks, that was really good. And so Val, you have been working also directly with the wood. So what has your experience been from the building side of things?
Yeah, and just with our 2 months of experience now with having the saunas are pretty much 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've definitely noticed that how Lunawood has been the most stable. It has a distinct scent to it as well when you step in. Like if you're blindfolded and you walk around Ærth, you'll know when you step into the Lunawood sauna. There's a slight feeling of also on the heat how dense or dry it is. There's a little bit of a difference in how the air feels in the Lunawood sauna, which is interesting. And all of our benches has been the most stable in the Lunawood sauna. The 2x6 material that we use for the benches, they haven't moved at all. And versus the cedar or the clear cedar, they tend to live a little bit with the constant heat and moisture. So
they're already splitting, which is interesting to watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the cedar that we use, it's yellow cedar for those who are interested in that. The backrests are moving, the 2x6 slats are forming and shaping and splitting. Lunawood, not a single nothing. Like it's wild to watch these work 14 hours a day, and it gets 100 degrees in there quite often and 60-70% humidity. And we can talk about humidity as well a little bit. So as I think, Matthias, you mentioned it, they hold a lot more moisture in the sauna. And it's so true. If you go into our cedar sauna, it's at 40% humidity without adding any water to it, and it warms up to temperature. It's about 40% humidity. Here, it's about 60 when it warms up to 95 degrees. So it's such a different feeling. And they are the same shape, same size. So it's really cool. It's really cool case, basically.
And I would just add that it feels a bit more fragile, clear cedar, when it's on the backrest. And it just feels like it's a bit more sensitive to wear and tear, especially in commercial setting. So kind of the feeling we've had.
Matthias, you've been part of a lot of different sauna projects around the world. So like going into the art and science of sauna, talking about materials and what to use, because we're talking about high stress, high heat, humid spaces. So talking about, which nails to use, what should people be aware of when building these type of spaces?
Yeah, I would say to pay attention to details. We have a very good material to work with, Lunawood Thermowood, but then it comes to installation as well, like air ventilation behind the decorative surfaces as well. If we do not have any air cavity gap behind the accent walls or decorative walls, the good product will be ruined quite quickly. Or then when it comes to perhaps not the best fixing system, like a rusted screws or nails that will leach the color on the surface. So a good product needs a good installation as well. But yeah, then I would say fixings, paying attention to those, but then the ventilation as well. And with these small details, when those are covered, we will have a long life cycle to the product as well, but also it affects to the sauna experience overall, I would say.
So what about the key considerations for the layout of the sauna? Val, you've been working with a lot of different sauna spaces. So like talking about the stove, what makes a good sauna experience?
Yeah, I would just add that if your sauna is not designed, ventilated, or built properly, the wood that you use won't save you from that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So recently I've been really interested in, and also Ærth brought this up, is like how well the space flows in general, like how easy it is to people to come in and out, and the safety. So that's one aspect. Then we also think about, especially in commercial, how easy it is to clean, how easy it is to maintain hygienic, how easy it is to access under the benches, how easily it is to drain the floor and have all the water go out. And then we think about how the seating affect the social aspects of the sauna, and what is your purpose of using it. Is it going to be more doing ceremonies in the sauna? Do you want people to be talking and having a conversation in the sauna? What is the bench layout? How does the steam move in the bench layout that you have decided to do? And where do you put the stove in the specific layout you have? How hot you want the sauna to be, and what is your bench height? So kind of considering what you want to create, and then reverse engineering that back to the principles of you're working with. So those are just some considerations. There's a lot more, but that gives you like a basic
Those
idea.
are really good big buckets.
Yeah, and I would just add, like, if you build a sauna where people are facing each other versus a sauna where it's people L shape and people are also looking at like a central point or in the wall, it creates a little bit different atmosphere and a different kind of conversation. So this is something to consider when you're creating a space.
And I have to say at this point, towards the red and sweating Vicky, but because like Vicky, like these, like, let's say each of your saunas, they have an intention behind them. You have the silent sauna, then you have different saunas for different types of interactions, right? But also it's like you have an element of ritual. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are really much in Aufguss, and you're actually holding space with Aufguss also at Ærth. So any aspects to the layout design from the experiential perspective?
Yeah. So we have 3 saunas. And when we were designing the space, we wanted to make it as accessible for people as possible and as inclusive as we could with the small space we had. And mind you, we were working with, this is a very limited area.
Literally?
They're just, it was such a limited space to work with. So it took us a year, 6 months of designing, and then another 6 months to just kind of refining everything before we landed on this layout. The shapes of the saunas are designed for connection. So we have this very natural curve in it, which makes people able to see each other better. The L shapes aren't really lending themselves well to square saunas. Like you're always going to have people where there's just enough people in between them, so you need to talk over each other. So circles are really, really beautiful connection, and this is in a part of the city, just for, again, context, where community is a massive element. So although we have 4 million tourists every year, we knew that the community and the locals needed something like that. So I actually have 59% of returning clients, which is wild to me. In a city where there are 4 million tourists, I thought we were going to have so much more tourists, but people are coming here for connection. So you really got to think about that. For types of saunas, so we have, this is a silent sauna. The reason why we picked Lunawood for the silent sauna is because it's a darker, we talked about the grains. It really gives your mind enough to contemplate with and to sit with in silence. Clear cedar we're using in the ceremony space, also different lighting. The reason why is because with the ceremonies and the theater lighting and the sound that's in our clear cedar sauna is already way too much. So we didn't want any naughty wood, because that would have been just a sensory overload for people, with somebody pouring water on the rocks and the essential oils and stuff. So we didn't want that. And then we have a private sauna in the back as well, the smaller one, that's naughty yellow cedar, and it's also a very different, it's a very homey, there's a very homey feel to it. And thinking back, I think I would pick thermal treated wood for spaces like that as well, that needs more inviting atmospheres. But yeah, that's what we picked with at the time, and that's what we're obviously going with. But it's a good consideration to have to pick thermal treated wood for a very centered, grounded experience.
Yeah.
Considering that this is our first bigger project, there's a lot of unknowns. So you make the best decision based on the information you have, and then you learn as you go. So the next builds, we would probably know a lot more on our material choices as well. So
for sure. Yeah.
So Matthias, how does Lunawood differ from other thermally modified wood products?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I quickly actually introduced that to trademarked thing. So I would say that is the biggest thing. We always follow the trademarked process, patented process. So that's the reason why we always have the same color, but the quality, the structure in the wood is the same. we have the thermal modification goes through the product. So, for example, Wiki, if you need to split a board, you will have the same color in the wood itself. But then there are other ways to do thermal modification as well. For example, just the color. But we at Lunawood, we want to follow the trademarked patented process that was developed by Lunawood and the Technical Research Center of Finland in the 1990s. But I would say that the temperatures and how many hours the wood is actually in the kiln, I would say there are the differences when it comes to thermal wood or thermally modified timber.
How long does the process take?
Yeah, it depends a bit on the thickness, on the dimension of a profile, or if we have super cold winter here in Finland. But it varies between 45 hours to 70 hours. So typically it's 3 to 4 days. Yeah.
So I have to tap on this because we are talking about sustainable sauna spaces, sustainable, eco-friendly, non-toxic building, and the future of wellness. Like, these are all really big words. And then I also have to acknowledge that for this project, you actually shipped the wood from Finland. So from a sustainability perspective, could you maybe expand on that one?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because for example, we export our products to Brazil as well. So very long distances, or even to New Zealand. But then I would say it's more about the raw material again. I go back to Finnish forest again. But in Finland, trees are growing almost 80 to 100 years. Like I mentioned, they work as a carbon sink for multiple decades. And then in our production, we can lock the carbon inside. So they have plenty of carbon in the wood. And then, for example, we utilize the sea freights. We have massive containers to deliver wood from Finland to the USA, for example. So we can use actually very big loads rather than shipping just a small amount of timber. And then when we think about transportation, sea freight is actually, from a carbon footprint point of view, it's very good. But yeah, rather than having quickly grown species, we are proud to utilize the slow-grown softwoods, pine and spruce from Finland, rather than, for example, in Brazil, illegally harvested tropical hardwoods, for example. So we pay a lot of attention from where we actually source the raw material. So even though it comes quite far away from dark Nordic country, we pay a lot of attention to that sustainability, and it should go all the way through the supply chain. So the whole chain of custody is checked. Yeah.
And quick comment to Matthias as well. What we note as a building side, Lunawood comes in longer lengths that we can get cedar here in a steady gray. Like, it's hard to find 12-foot, 14-foot quality different width cedar. So that's something that was different for when you're designing your space. Yeah.
The offcuts, just getting down to carpentry, the offcuts, you can use the offcuts still, while cedar you might need to throw half the board away, because that's just the way cedar's sold. It's the grains are off, and so I really loved working with the longboards.
Yeah. And it's always so nice to see the offcuts and how those are utilized. It's kind of a creativity comes on that, like flower boxes or water buckets.
Or the benches.
Yeah, exactly.
Val built those benches and picture.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that this is also a really good segue to the conversation, because when we're talking about saunas and authentic sauna culture, Vicky was really good on the point, like, okay, we are creating experiences, but it's also connection. But Matthias, from your perspective, like designing residential versus commercial saunas, like, is there anything that designers, architects should know about, like, going into these different spaces?
Yeah, I would say about durability, but then about the dialogue of different profiles as well. Even though we are manufacturing the material, we still pay attention, a lot of attention to those profiles, like dialogue between wide and narrow profile, not perhaps doing a big difference between is it spruce or pine, but then, I would say the durability as well. private saunas, it's not about that. It's more about the experience, how you feel the sauna or the material. But then in public spaces, because they are open like 24/7, 7 days in a week, they must be durable. So I would say in the public spaces, like those big projects that I showed you in the slides, they are respecting that durability, but also the comfortable of like thermal conductivity, and then the wood doesn't feel that hot. So those kind of technical performance things, I would say, are more.
Yeah, because you don't want the wood to actually burn your skin when you sit
Exactly.
down, and
Yeah.
Val, what about you? Like, what's your take on actually the layout of the space? Like, what should people be aware of when designing sauna spaces for personal or for commercial use?
Yeah, just commercial use, consider hundreds of people going through the space daily, how many times the doors are opening, how much wear and tear will be on the areas where they have most traffic. Just the fact that saunas are 14 hours a day. We just, in general, I would say that you gotta use thicker material, better fasteners, better ventilation. You have to go way beyond of what you use in a home where it's like 3-4 sauna sessions a week, and it still might surprise you just the amount of people moving in and out. So just really doing a research on commercial will save you a lot of money in the future, because then hopefully you don't need to be closed for repairs as much for your space. So and it's tough, like we all make mistakes and there's always lessons learned afterwards about how we can make it better, but that's part of the journey.
You can only know what you know, right? And that's the reason why I love having these type of conversations about like what has worked, what has been supporting the intention, what we can all share. Because, and I think I can talk to for you as well, that the intention behind the West Coast Sauna Summit was actually to bring people together so that we can have a space for these conversations and we can learn from each other. And I'm really excited that we're going to continue these type of conversations also at the event. And Matthias will be there. And like said, West Coast Sauna Summit, we're actually hosting the event in January 15th to 18th, 50 kilometers from Vancouver in Maple Ridge, BC, Canada. So the conversation will continue there. And before wrapping up, I have to acknowledge this. Matthias, I know that you have a background in ice hockey, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, do you have any your own, like what's your like, do you have a sauna ritual yourself,
Yeah.
or like
Mhm.
what's tell
I would.
how do you use your sauna?
Very good question. Yeah, I used to play hockey, and I'm a former hockey player from Finland. I would say my sauna routine has changed. Back in the days when I was a more active athlete, I would say it was more about recovery. We had sauna in our locker room, so we used that a lot, and cold plunges as well. So that kind of a cold and hot, just for the recovery. But then we also use saunas as a team building kind of thing. When we had a game-free weekend, we used to go to rent a place with the sauna, spend time with the team. So kind of a team building thing. But yeah, I still use it as recovery. But these days, when I'm home, we use sauna every day. I spend time there with my family and our 7-month-old son. So it's kind of a new experience to him as well. We have quite a small bath with a bit more colder water, not cold water, but not that hot. So he can spend time in that small bucket, and we can throw lowly to the stove and catch up what happened during the day. So I would say that it has changed. My sauna experience has changed from my athlete career when it comes to everyday sauna experience. Yeah.
That's amazing. How is your son? Does he like to go to the sauna?
For sure, yes. For sure, he enjoys it a lot. Yes.
And I think that this is such a unique Finnish perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah,
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 you need
and
to start it
yeah.
right away. Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing with my kids because they were born and raised, like they were born here in Canada, and we don't have our own sauna yet.
Yes.
That introduction has been quite different.
Yeah.
Hey, what about you, Val? What's your sauna ritual routine looking like?
Yeah, I was I was lucky to grow up by a lake in Finland, and we had a
Mm.
lakeside sauna. So growing up, the routine, it was like always winter. It was like making a hole in the ice, um, dipping into the frozen lake. Summers, it was more about swimming and enjoying the sauna and long summer nights. So really growing up with the seasons, with the sauna and the different weather. It wasn't standardized. The lake temperature, it was always varying. So growing up from that, it was always part of a natural routine. And
Mm.
now that I'm in the sauna industry in Canada and Vancouver, it's more about visiting. I still have my personal practice, but visiting my different locations, tuning into the different communities with different saunas, and interacting with people who have less experience, and a lot of education involved, and a lot of holding space and holding conversation and sharing stories, and just
Mm.
kind of being part of the cultural stewardship of sauna here in BC area. And it's been a fun journey, and it's always changing and always evolving. And the last thing that I would add is also depends where you are in your life, whether it's more work or stress, or you want to build more communities, you can adapt your sauna routine to support where you are going, what you're going through in your life. So yeah.
From the cultural perspective, how have you seen, because when did you start your own sauna company, the Finnish sauna?
2020 January.
Yeah.
So
So what
just
have you
before
seen a change in the,
yeah, it was 2 months before COVID, and now 5 years after, there's a huge change. We were just coming back from Seattle Sauna Festival yesterday in Seattle, and that was just I think they had 800 people go through the festival in 2 days, and it was just awesome to talk to people for the first public sauna experience. So we're still going through the phase where like so many people are experiencing this kind of bathing renaissance that we're going through in North America, and it's really exciting to be part of it and be creating spaces for that with Vicky and the whole other awesome community that we have around here. So I'm just honored to be doing the right things in the right time and be part of the stewardship of the sauna culture.
Mm.
and I have to say, like when I went to Ærth, like people are crazy. Like Vicky, when you were saying that, majority of your people are actually returning guests. The feeling that I got there when I stepped into the space was that people had really taken Ærth as their own. Like it was really a communal space. Like it is for the tourists. Like it's an attraction, but it's also something that people feel like it's their own. So like you're hosting a
Mm.
lot and you're greeting people, but what's your own private sauna routine? Like
Doing
how
Yeah.
do
webinars from
yeah.
sauna.
But
Yeah.
doing webinars, I just live here. I have a sleeping bag right here. I'm sure
Nice.
people are surprised about that, but yeah. So the whole idea behind Ærth was to create home for people, whether or not you're a tourist or live here. It's really all our hospitality practices are around home. Somebody referred to this space as a blanket for adults, and that's what it is. Like you feel
Mm.
really sheltered and safe and close to nature and with people, so you're practicing togetherness in a very, very safe environment. So obviously I'm here every day, and it's exciting too because you get to see the same people every day. So and there's a lot of it has to do with how we built the space and how the space flows. There's a lot of intention that needs to be put to how you have people flow in your space. You can't just pop 3 saunas in and expect that to work well. There might be a miracle, but have your intention really in front of you, and make sure that you thought about how if you were a guest, like how would you want to feel, what home means to you, or whatever you want to create. For me, it was home. So I want to be greeted. So I needed to have people come right into the reception. It's like little things like that. They're really, really important. Yeah.
So are you yourself, do you go to sauna rituals yourself? Do you, like, you're the founder? So, but like, do you have time to do sauna just for yourself?
Oh yeah, of course I do. I wouldn't build a business that would be saunas and not have time for saunas. Like that's just no, not this girl. Yeah, obviously, like this is a it's my life, right? And I actually was just talking to people about this here, because a lot of people don't know that I'm the founder, which is awesome, because I get to actually have an authentic experience with the people that are in here. So I get feedback, and I get to know the people very authentically before they find out that I'm a partner in this space, and I'm the founder, and so that's very important to me. I want to keep that authentic connection going, and that's how it's being created. And the saunas were designed for that as well. So I always sit in a place where I can see all the people, for example. So I can see people coming in and out. I can greet them. It's
so you're the heat keeper.
Oh, the heat keeper.
And I would add that I'm sure Vicky and me are both very happy after a year-long building phase to go in the phase where we're interacting, we're saunaing with people, we're creating experiences and cultivating this community feeling. It's a huge, after cleaning construction dust after a long day, it's a big shift in the energy for us as well.
It's huge. Yeah, build a sauna business and be in your saunas.
Vicky, how long time you actually stay in sauna room when you go to sauna? Because this is a question that I get, because I'm from Finland. So people ask that, what is a proper way to do sauna? How long you need to stay in sauna to do it correctly? I would say there is no a right way to do it. But what is how long you stay typically in sauna when you go there?
That's a great question. I get that a lot too. And I know all the Hubermans, and I know all the research, and 57 minutes a week you should be in the sauna cumulatively. I know all of that. And it doesn't matter. None of that really matters. I feel like people, the entire idea behind saunas is that you actually get to have a direct experience with your body. And you should really focus on that. So it doesn't matter that we have timers here, but if 5 minutes feels good, then see where your body wants to take you. And if it doesn't want cold plunge, maybe don't do a cold plunge, and mind you, I'm a woman, so there's different there's difference between how men and women like to sauna. Sometimes I'm in here for half an hour because I just love the conversation and I don't want to leave. And yesterday I was in here and this gets really hot and humid, and I think I was probably out in 7 minutes. I'm like, all right, we're good, So
that's also like my experience too, that it varies, because it's like Vicky said, like from the just hormonal perspective. I myself find that it's really cyclical on what my body needs. And also, like Val said really well, like, where are you in your life? There are moments when I'm just aching for, good, really harsh, steep steam, and it goes to, like, it's really good on your skin, and going to the cold plunge, and, maybe even, like you said, having conversations, being there for hours even. But then there are times when it's just in and out, and respecting your body. And Thea said in the comments, like, none of the Finns can answer that question. Because I think that's also the cultural perspective, right? Because like, first you get in, it's more about maybe the protocols. Okay, how do you use the space? And then you take the space to be your own. What do I need at this moment? What is, like, connection, the environment, like it's a communal experience. And Vicky, you said it really beautifully that it's a way to bring people together. And I think that's the future of wellness too. It's not only the biological or personal, but it's also the communal and social. And I think that that's the reason why knowing or having different aspects into how to design these spaces at this moment of time in the momentum that we're seeing is really, really important.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you guys. Like we had a lot of great questions. We are actually going to answer all of them. You will get an email afterwards, and there, Matthias, correct me if I'm wrong, but there will be a recording.
A recording.
Of the conversation.
It should come automatically, like in 1 hour after the webinar. Yes. Yeah. But very great discussion. I'm happy to travel to Canada in January and continue the discussion there and meet people and try every sauna at Ærth. Yeah. Very, very nice event.
Can't wait to have you. Can't wait to have you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Kiitos.
Thank you.
Kiitos.
Guys.
See you.